I'm leaving on a jet plane. I don't know when I'll be back again. Oh, babe, I'd hate to go. That, of course, is a very famous song by Peter Paula Mary. Today, here I'm at the Umpqua Cemetery in Redding, Connecticut on this brisk fall afternoon. And I'm here to visit the grave of one Mary Travers. She was, of course, the Mary in Peter, Paul, and Mary. They were a folk band, if you don't know, a very famous folk band. One of those bands that came out in the 60s. And if you grew up in that time, you definitely know who they were. Now, originally, they were founded, I believe, in 1961. I believe one of the guys, I believe it was Peter, had noticed Mary. And, of course, a lot of guys noticed her because she was very attractive. And he invited her for a cup of coffee. And the rest is kind of history. They were both singers, both songwriters. And they got together, and through the help of their manager, they got together. They first performed at a coffee house called The Bitter End in Greenwich Village, New York City, to rousing applause. And their manager, Albert Grossman, with them, I believe he might have also been the manager of Bob Dylan. Don't quote me on that. His name rings a bell. So later that following year, in 1962, they recorded their debut album, self-titled album, Peter Paula Mary. Of course, they had a couple of hits on that, If I Had a Hammer, and of course, Where Have All the Flowers Gone? And in 1963, they recorded Puff the Magic Dragon, which is also a very famous song of theirs. And a lot of people say that Puff the Magic Dragon is a song about drugs. Well, they claim that it's actually a song about a childhood and losing its innocence. But who knows? Maybe it was about drugs. Who knows? And they were together for a few years. And then in 1970, they broke up just after their hit single, Leaving on a Jet Plane, came out. That song was originally written by their friend John Denver. So they got this #1 song, and they're probably like, yeah, now's a great time to break up and go our separate ways. And so they did. Mary, she recorded several albums. She would do speaking engagements all across the country. Very successful in her own right. A very excellent singer, by the way. She has a beautiful voice. Fantastic. Paul Stuckey, who was the other member, of course, he created his own Christian band called the Bodywork Band. And Peter Yarrow, well, he got arrested for sex assault. Yeah. Peter Yarrow, he liked the youngins, the underage chicks. Apparently a 17-year-old girl and her 14-year-old sister went up to his hotel room seeking an autograph. He opened the door. He was butt naked. One thing led next to another. And now he's in prison doing 1 to 3 years. However, he only served about 3 months of that sentence. And later on, getting out, he says about his indiscretion, quote, "It was an era of real indiscretions, and I made a mistake. I'm sorry. It was just a bad mistake." Now, my question is, if you never got caught, would you still be sorry? That's the question you want to ask. But not to worry, anybody out there who's fans of Peter Yarrow, Jimmy Carter later pardoned him in 1981. So anyways, Pervert Paul and Mary, they actually recorded an album in 1978, and they went out and toured, and they realized, wow, we're really popular again. So they got back together in 1981, and they've been averaging about 45 to 55 shows a year. Unfortunately, in 2004, Mary came down with leukemia. A year later, she felt better to go back on the road again, but then she went back to getting sick again, and she died in 2009. She died from complications of the radiation and the chemotherapy that she was on to fight that dreaded disease. Here she is. This is the grave of Mary Travers, a rather simple grave. Voice of a generation that echoes through the ages. A very beautiful woman, a very beautiful voice, a very iconic song. A song that I would hear every now and then. I'm not the biggest fan of folk music unless it's kind of like punk folk music. I like that, but no, she was a beautiful singer. And I noticed that I was in the area, so I definitely wanted to stop by and show her grave and just talk a little bit about her and just their band and what have you. Definitely a band that people know about, and growing up in those turbulent times, a lot of teenage boys had her poster on their walls. I mean, they had all three, but they were really looking at her. So she was the one that really made that band. Anyways, rest in peace to Mary. And that's it, guys. I'm out of here. I'm in the road. Gotta go. Where I end up next, nobody truly knows at the end of the day. Guys, God bless. I'll catch up with you on the next vlog. Peace out.